Hey y'all, iRick Guy here, and I wanted to demonstrate the video capabilities, in particular the background blur or bokeh that's able to be achieved with the 28-75 Tamron. Now if you don't have this lens yet, you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find the lens, the UV filter, the microphone that I'm using, and the camera body that I'm using. But I'm paired with my camera body with the app, and right now we're at an f2.8 aperture at the widest this lens will go, which is 28, widest is 28 millimeter. So we're at 28 millimeter right now. I'm going to change the aperture within the app. We're going to go all the way up to an f20, f22. So now you can see the trees and everything behind me very clearly, depending upon the type of video you're shooting. If it's a travel documentary, you may want people to see what's behind you, but if you're in if you're in the city or something, you want to blur faces, you can go with an aperture such as f2.8. Now what I expect to have happen here, and we're going to run through a series of different focal lengths. So this, again, this is 28 millimeter. I've got to walk over to the camera and I'm going to change it. I'm going to zoom in to 35 millimeter. Okay, so I don't know if it's 35 millimeter precisely, but it's pretty close. So this is 35 millimeter. What I expect to see here is a little bit greater background blur. Obviously I'm looking at the app to see where I am in the camera's field of view. But now let's go from 35 millimeter, let's go to 50 millimeter. So this right here is about 50 millimeters precise as I can get it using a little zoom ring there. So now you can see the background obviously is blurred even more. So I'm having to step backwards to frame myself, but you can see the background is significantly more blurred at 50 millimeter. And again, I'm using f2.8 just for fun. I'll flip it over to f22 here, and see now you can see at 50 millimeter f22. I mean, you can see pretty much everything back there, all the trees and everything. So let's go back down to 2.8. Again, this is a constant aperture f2.8 lens. Now let's take it all the way to 75 and see how much, what kind of bokeh we can create, background blur. So again, 75 is the maximum zoom for this lens. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but obviously I'm shooting in full frame. I could flip over to Super 35, but I like to film everything in full frame, just personal preference. So now I'm having to step back further to get myself in the frame there, and now you can see the background blur looks really good. Obviously it's not as good as a prime lens, but I think that what's referred to, and I'm going to step closer here, what's referred to as subject isolation rather, isolating me from the background. I think that let's see, I'm going to hold that phone down because it was autofocus was going after it, but I think that it's pretty awesome, especially considering the price point of this lens. And for most purposes, probably what I'll do with this lens is do 50 millimeter. That way I'm somewhat close for audio, but I'm getting pretty good background bokeh, subject isolation. I was tongue twister. Isolation. I don't know why I can't say isolation today. But yeah, I think this looks really good. I mean, it's, for the price point, and considering that this is a constant aperture f2.8, this lens is razor sharp. It is a lot lighter and significantly smaller than the Sony G Master 24-70. And for me, this, what people refer to as unusual focal length of 28 rather to 75, doesn't bother me because I've got a Zeiss Batis 25 that's prime lens. I've got a Zeiss Batis 85 millimeter. So if I'm really needing to get wider or get a better portrait shot, I'll use one of those prime lenses. And obviously they in my opinion create a lot better background blur or bokeh, whatever you want to call it. But for video purposes, this thing is razor sharp. For most of your photo purposes, this camera is razor sharp. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell, or ring the bell rather, to be notified whenever I post another video. And I'm going to have an exhaustive review this video I just addressed the the look background bokeh for your video. And again, I am filming in 4K 30, and I'm really impressed. I mean, to be able to get this sharp a video in 4K from a lens that, I mean, it's all relative, but I mean, this is a very affordable lens. I mean, you compare it to the G Master 24-70, and it's significantly less expensive. And then what is it, the 24 to, is it 24 or 28 to 125? But that Sony lens, it's a good lens, but it's only f4 aperture, so you can't get f2.8, 2.8 rather, out of it. So yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with this, but I want you to tell me what you think. Do you see any noticeable distortion? What do you think about the bokeh, the background blur? What do you think about the overall sharpness of the lens? I mean, is this something that you would use for your professional work? Tell me what you think within the comment section below. And again, if you're looking for this lens, camera body, microphone, or any of the accessories, expand this video's description and then click the link there and you can find it all. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, iRick Sky here. Thanks again for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. If you're looking for iRick Sky's Adventure Channel merch, like this t-shirt and a lot of other cool stuff, expand this video's description. You can find it all there. Y'all have a good day.